All right, hello. So I'm Denho, and I have Dessa here to help commentate. And this is Saga Emerald Beyond. And yeah, let me just explain real quick kind of like what kind of game and category we're talking about before we get started. So uh, this is the Saga series. It's a long series. It started with like Final Fantasy Legend games, and then there's Saga Frontier and things like that. Maybe you know this is the latest game of the series, latest brand new game. So in this game we have 5 different characters, and like they have 5 different scenarios,
Вот он
completely
сейчас
like separate
рассказывает о том,
scenarios
что
that you
тут
can play through.
разные
So in this
сценарии
case
за
we're gonna
разных
run the Abby
персонажей.
and Formina scenario. It's gonna be new game instead of new game
И вот
plus,
он
so we're gonna
сейчас
start from the
рассказывает,
very
что это
beginning.
сценарий Бонни и
In some
Формины,
cases the new game plus run is
новая
better, but in this
игра,
case we choose new
никаких
game. And
НГ
then we
плюс
also have
бонусов.
a little mod in use here. You can see it running here. Actually, a mod that I made myself. And this is just to like speed up a lot of the cutscenes
И
and the
сейчас он
UI
говорит,
and
что
some things like that to make
он
them more
использует мод, который он
comfortable.
сделал самостоятельно для того, чтобы
But other
ускорять
than that, so
катсцены и прочее, из-за того,
you know,
что
hopefully
проблема
everybody
многих
doesn't understand
JRPG, то, что
what we're
непропускаемые
doing here. So we can get
катсцены. Все
started.
любят катсцены, особенно
So
непропускаемые.
3, 2,
Поэтому он
1,
сделал мод, который
go.
их ускоряет. И, в общем-то, дальше вы все
Alright, so as
увидите.
mentioned, every character
Это
has
Resident
its
Sleeper
own
Run на
scenario,
2
and this scenario in
часика.
particular kind
Ну,
of kicks it off right
1,5-2.
away, shifts into high gear, and goes real fast. At the very beginning, we have these characters, Bonnie and Formina, who are like police officers, just finished police academy. They're supposed to be just patrolling around a capital city for now, but they realize that there's this shady blonde guy walking around, and they're like trying to check, oh, what is he doing there? He hides in a manhole cover, but turns out that manhole cover is like a portal to other worlds. So they chase him down in there and end up in this jungle area. Just like as some cliff notes to what we're about to do,
Вот
because very
рассказывает
beginning of the game, you
сюжет,
immediately get
где наши
introduced to
героини
several
погнались
battles,
за
and the Saga series has
злодеем
scattered off for
условным
like very
и попали в
intricate,
другой мир.
very
Классика.
different battle systems between different iterations. In this case, in Saga Emerald Beyond, we have the timeline system, meaning that it is a turn-based game. You choose your actions at the start of it, before the turn starts. The enemy has chosen their actions, but you see on the bottom there's this huge timeline with, I think it was
Ну вот
12
сейчас он
slots, and
рассказывает о
every
том, что
character
это
occupies one
таймлайн,
slot of this timeline.
версия механики
Among that timeline, you
саги,
can see
в
what
которой
attacks
мы
in which order,
выбираем действие
which
перед
attacks the
началом,
enemies, what attacks the enemies are doing, and you can
и мы
choose all
будем
attacks
на этом таймлайне
according
видеть,
to
какие
what they
атаки
do
будут
and what the
делать
timeline
враг.
placement is.
И, в общем-то,
It's
это
important
основная
to note that
механика
in every turn you
с
have
точки зрения
a certain amount
JRPG,
of
управления
BP, battle
таймлайном.
points, mana, AP, whatever you want to call it. There are a lot of comparisons to that. And every action you choose utilizes a certain amount of BP. So a big part of this is just making sure that the BP management is on point, that we utilize the skills that we want to use. And
Вот сейчас он рассказывает о управлении местного ресурса
right here
BP,
we
который
get
надо
introduced to two
управлять,
extra party
чтобы
members as well, three extra party members.
использовать
Three cats, all considered
способности.
monsters in this game. We ditched two of them
Сейчас он
because they're
говорит о
not
том,
that
что вот
useful,
эти
but the third
котики —
cat
это
we
и
went
части
for some
партии,
skills that are actually
которые
really useful for the
в
rogue,
дальнейшем могут
because
быть
they
заменены
shift
на
our
некоторые виды
character on the
монстров.
timeline around quite a bit, and one of them is actually just generally really, really strong. Now, for skills themselves, you see that there are these green and red bars. And what I'm about to explain that counts for both your own party and the enemies as well, because they play by the same rules, or like beat for beat. Every move has its own little like combo range. You see the green bars that go either just directly under the portrait, or they like move around a little bit to the right or to the left. They shift the character around a little bit. And if the green bars of your own party or the red bars of the enemy party connect in any way, then a
Цикла
combo
убийцы,
is
да.
initiated. Combos are really essential because we
Вот
deal a
сейчас он
little bit more
напоминает о
damage with
том,
them,
что
but more
комбо,
importantly,
которые
we
происходят,
cannot miss
очень
our
важны из-за того,
maximum
что это
power. So we're trying
основной
to do combos as much as
урон,
possible.
но главное их
So
преимущество
you
в
see
том,
here
что
the
во время
ability to
комбо
use
мы
a
не
quick
можем
burst combo.
промазать.
Same here,
А
maybe
поскольку мы не можем
going...
промазать,
Okay, we're going
это
for
очень
close range
важно
here.
становится
Yeah,
из-за
that's
того,
about
что
that.
в саге в
Actually, you
этой
know
по
that a
какой-то
combo is
причине
going to
сделали
kill
очень высокий
if they
шанс
say like some kind of line at the
к
start of it,
уклонению
like, oh, this will
противника. Ну, у
finish
них на
it,
самом
or
деле эвейжн
in case of
высокий
Formina, it's like I'm just gonna
из-за
kill.
превосходства стат
In this case, one
относительно
reason,
нашей пати,
like,
но все равно
just
это
Formina and
неприятно.
Bonnie would have been enough actually, but it's good that I included the cat in the combo, so I managed to absorb an ability from the monster, which is not like a super important thing, but it can come in handy.
Basically, in this game, you have a bunch of different classes, or as they call it, races, and those cats are considered monsters. Monsters are able to absorb and random attack from an enemy that they were involved in killing. Like the plant got killed in a combo where the cat was involved in, so it was able to absorb its attack. So now we're getting into the first already really difficult fight, or I guess maybe not difficult, but it can really mess with you a lot. And we're getting introduced into our main mechanic here, which is the so-called showstopper. We'll get a little tutorial here about it because the game pretty
Ну, это сейчас игра показывает нам туториал о том, как работает механика шоу-стоппера.
Showstopper here. It's very important that on the timeline we're trying to make sure that specifically Formina, who is the gun character here, but any other character can really go for it. We want to make sure that they're trying to have 2 spaces available on both sides. Like right here you see Formina has 2 spaces available on the left and 3 on the right. In total 5 spaces. That allows us to utilize all the remaining BP that we have not allocated yet, plus 1, into a huge combo of
Ну,
as
там
many
рассказывает
attacks
о
as
том,
the
что
character
механика
can utilize.
шоу-стоппера
Right now,
предполагает,
it's
что
really easy
мы
because we've gotten several
оставляем по
potential
2
sources for
хода
showstoppers.
справа и
We have 2
слева,
showstoppers
что
from
все
Formina.
наши
And now we have
неизрасходованные БПшки
showstoppers
были
from the cat. One of
израсходованы
the
в
reasons we
рамках
actually utilize the
шоу-стоппера,
cat
дабы
because
максимально эффективно
counterkick
использовать это.
specifically is a really good attack for showstoppers, but it also has the move Rush, which is generally a very good utility move. And we got Star Fixer from the plant. That's really nice.
That can actually paralyze, and status elements are more likely to land if the enemy is low HP, but didn't get it this time. But I guess we get another, what we call a cat stopper.
Yeah.
If it's a cat doing the showstopper, we like to call it cat stopper. So, you know, it's kind of slow to sit through these animations, but one advantage
Вот
here
он
is
сейчас
that
говорит о
cat
том,
is going to be
что
able to absorb this monster, and I can get something really good from here.
если
Hopefully.
кэтстопер,
Yeah, every time you absorb a
кэтстопер,
monster,
шоу-стопер,
there's
вот это вот
like
срабатывает на коте, они
2
называют
attacks
это
that you could
кэтстопером,
be
потому
absorbing
что
for,
анимации
so
кота
both
очень
work the
долгие.
same attack as well.
Но
And
зато
for
он
example,
сможет
the
поглотить
plant,
этого
we were
монстра,
actually
что
looking to
тоже
get
хорошо.
Starfix, which we ended up getting. The dragon has 2 attacks that we're looking for, either Frigid Veil or Counter Kick, because there are lots of different types of attacks. You have attacks that are just like basic attacks, attacks that move you around on the timeline, or which are going to be really relevant for the showstoppers, so-called conditionals. Conditionals are usually really, really strong, but can only be used in response to either enemies' actions by so-called interruption of their move. It's more like interception because you just act before them real quick. Or other stuff like, I guess a lot of words would be like chain pursuits, actions that allow you to act according to what your characters or the enemies do. Just conditionals, they can't just be used willy-nilly. Those conditionals are really strong, but a showstopper is able to utilize them regardless of their condition, which is going to be, especially towards the later part of the game, our main focus. We're going to try and get as many of these conditionals as possible and utilize them in our showstoppers as much as possible.
Yeah, I would say, so the first world that we did like that, kind of jungle area, is actually like kind of a big reset point. It's like if I'm doing PB attempts, I have to reset there a lot. I actually had like pretty good RNG. It wasn't like ideal, but especially like last fight there, I was getting a lot of showstoppers and didn't have to re-attempt the fight. So I can actually very easily, if the timeline doesn't seem to be in my favor on the first turn, I can easily re-attempt. Everybody in my party will lose 1 LP, which like if I were to run out of LP, I would not be able to use them in combat for some time, which would be a huge problem. But they never really do. Like I don't have to re-attempt that often. So particularly anytime the first timeline is like horrible, I'm just gonna attempt.
Ну вот он сейчас рассказывает о том, как
I
в
guess in
целом
regards
прошла
to the
первая
story,
секция.
because
Ничего
a lot of
ужасного,
people
ничего
like SaGa is
великого.
a kind of
Катстопер
niche
немного
series, and not a lot
подруинил,
of
но в
people play it,
остальном
especially in a Western
стандартное
audience.
начало рано.
What we're doing right now, again, we are playing as Bonnie Formina, police officers who were initially trying to chase down a guy, and they ended up being transported to another world. And following that event, they realized that they have this kind of
Вот
innate
сейчас
power that they
пересказ
have a
сюжета.
feeling of where they could be going.
Честно, переводить
This
его я не очень
power is
хочу.
called Emerald
Из-за того,
Vision.
что
It also allows them
про
to
эту часть
travel
саги я могу
between
сказать
different
только
worlds.
то,
You
что
saw
она
this
довольно-таки
huge
средняя
area
в
in
лучшем
the double
случае.
background, the next to the dystopian background, where you have a path leading up to a door. We walked up to that door, and that door leads us to another world. In this case, we're in Avalon. Avalon is fairly straightforward. Well, we have one fight against in a pub against these two dudes. We got the character Minstrel at the beginning of this area, who is a mech, and mechs are, I guess, in the speedrun, especially useful for early game, because what's nice about mechs is that their stats are not developing as with any other character class, where like they get strong over time, get level ups and all that. But mechs just get their stats based off what equipment you give them, so you can immediately
Вот сейчас он
build a bit of a
рассказывает про
head start on
мехов,
them and just have some
которые
nice
довольно-таки уникальный класс, в скобочках нет,
Yeah,
потому что
like
не
in early
помню,
game,
кто в
you saw me
чате
like
знаток
remove the
финалок.
other two
Уже
classes from my
была такая
party
идея, что мехи
because
получают свой опыт. А, не, вру, это не финалки, это
they might
сага.
otherwise
Точно,
like
это в
end
саге и
up
было, я
online,
обманываю.
and I don't want that.
То, что мехи получают свой
But
опыт не за счет победы над
Oh, right.
врагами, а за
It is.
счет того, какая у них
but
экипировка.
it's
То
not
есть
a
мы
big deal.
изначально
They're
можем
not
дать
meant for
ему
me.
более
Yeah,
качественную
like as mentioned before,
экипировку,
all
и он
the moves
сразу
that apply to
получит
us in terms of
превосходство
combos
над
shows up to
противником
100, but
больше
also
из-за того,
applies
что у него будут
7.
лучшие
So
статы.
in this case, it wasn't a big deal that the enemy got a showstopper because they don't have many moves to use, they don't have many VP, and they also aren't really strong. But if we, for example, are unattentive during the final boss and he tends to get off like 4 or 5 attacks for free and guaranteed to hit, it's a reset. You're probably getting you're probably losing the fight.
But what I was gonna say is that like in this fight, for
В один
example,
момент мне
I
подумалось,
tried
что
to
это
do
было
this
в
with
финалке, а
like
потом я вспомнил, что это все-таки
with like
было
a
в саге.
setup with less party members that like Formina I could get the
А то я помню вот
um,
эту механику мехов, но не
showstopper,
помню откуда, а
but
это из саги. Хех.
it's way too like RNG. It's not very reliable. So then I decided, okay, I'm just gonna have these 4 party members focus on doing combos. It's gonna be a much more consistent strategy, and I can also just kind of use this 4 party setup uh, for the next world as well. Later on, we're gonna like change the setup a little bit.
So regarding the different character types or races in this case, we have humans predominantly in this category, and humans are able to kind of like, I guess within the confines of the SaGa series, it's called glimmering. They can, in battle, when using a move, by random chance, just get like an idea of, hey, like I have an idea for this type of move, let me try and use that, and then they use some kind of new move, which will become available for future like from that point onward for future turns.
Ну,
of
он сейчас
battle.
рассказывает о фишке
And you
саги,
saw
то, что
right
люди
there,
умеют
Formina actually got
получать
something called
вдохновение,
custom tech,
вдохновение во время боя,
which is something exclusive
в
to
результате
humans.
чего получается
It's
ситуация,
basically
что
a
он
glimmer, but it's
может
just
применить
like a
какой-то
variation
обычный
of the
навык,
tech
который
you
вы всегда
already use.
применяли, потом
So, for
во время
example, we
боя
have
просто взять и
tech
превратить его в
on
другой,
like
так
just a regular
сказать,
shot, for
придумать новые
example.
идеи, и
You can
потом
turn
этот
it
навык
into something
становится
that
постоянным
removes
в
the
вашем арсенале.
with the downside of dealing
В
with
общем-то,
damage
серия
and
Сага
stuff.
неплохая, но вот
So
эта
here we can
часть мне
see
показалась
kind of
немножко,
the game tree
немножко
opening up.
неоднородной.
So now we have a wide selection of worlds that we can go to, but there is one specific world that we want to go to that will like kind of make us a lot stronger than any of the other ones. So we can get
Мы дальше
that
просто
over
по сюжету продвинемся в
something I
отдельные
also
локации, в
mentioned
которых
previously
начинается
were
довольно-таки
you
странный
saw like a
баланс.
little puzzle. I actually just quit out of that, and
И
it's like a really easy puzzle. But
необычные
if you quit
решения
out of
из-за
that,
количества
then it's
персонажей,
like,
и в
oh, I couldn't
целом
do it.
сюжет
Too
кажется
bad.
скомканным.
Then the game actually gives you a different event after that and gives you a different party member, and that party member actually comes with like 2 different weapons, like greatsword and a one-handed sword, that are both like basically upgraded like twice compared to the like base level. So he's a really good party member to get at the start, and kind of a like little secret.
Ну, вот он сейчас говорит, что они идут
And
за отдельным
also
членом группы, у
Bonnie,
которого
who's like one of the main characters in
почему-то
this,
базовая
as
экипировка в
useful.
виде
So
двух
I'm
мечей
gonna not,
сразу же
you know,
имеет +2
ditch
относительно
this.
стандартных вещей, которые мы
So
можем
it is
добыть.
called the Bonnie and Formina scenario, but from this point onward, we're not going to be seeing Bonnie anymore at all. She's just put in the support slot because Lancelot is just so much better. On top of
И вот мы
having these
потеряли
really, really
Бонни
good weapons for this part of the game,
из-за того,
he
что
also
она
comes
ушла
with
в
some
слот саппорта,
really
и мы
nice
больше
skills as
никогда ее
well.
не будем использовать.
So now in Sync,
За
as
этот
this
стран,
world is
потому что она
called,
больше не нужна.
the whole story of the world is basically you have 4 tribes, 4 factions, all adhering to a different element, and they're kind of fighting against each other. In the game, you're kind of being told like, oh, like I think this tribe is trying to, like backstab me, or I think they're trying to mess with me and all that. And you're playing for this, you're thinking like, maybe he's lying, or that guy's like, no, they're all right. They're all trying to backstab each other. So what we're trying to do, or our role in this, is basically just taking up any of the sides that we're looking for, and basically just following them, trying to make them win. It's not always like, I guess, the nicest scenario if you like actually look at what's happening. Like you are pretty mean to some of these guys and breaking what they have accomplished, but I mean, gotta help someone. And in this case, we have a bat and 2 birds. We try to absorb that bat as well because bats can give us poke or interrupting tackle. Poke is decent to move us along the timeline, but the better move is interrupting tackle because it's a generally strong move. It's also a conditional, like counter kick, which is really, really strong for showstoppers. We see Lancelot getting a showstopper here again, and that just ends the fight. A lot of times, showstoppers are either giving you, at the very least, very big momentum in the fight, or they just end the fight.
You could also see me complete some trials there that so from the menu you can choose like, okay, I want to try these trials. It's like some kind of like, okay, try to do this during the battle. Like I had some unique trials for getting a 200% combo rate and dealing over 100 damage in one hit. And those trials actually give me accessories that like give me dexterity and strength respectively, so those will be useful.
Correct. So then mention the combo rate as well. I'm going to be reiterating some points just because they're really, really important for the game in itself. So again, there's this timeline at the bottom, and if you line up your characters, so if the enemies line up their characters with the combo range each of the individual moves have, you get a combo. Showstoppers are also considered combos, by the way. Every combo has a combo rate meter, and it's not like exactly, how do you call it, proportional, like 150% of the combo rate meter means 150% damage, but you get increased damage of every single attack. You see now it reached 140.
Вот сейчас он говорит
There
о
are
том, что
2
комбометр,
main
который
things you want to look
стакает
out for.
процентный урон,
Oh, you
сверху
actually
можете
answered
увидеть,
that.
комбо рейт
So
122.
the
Это
main
значит,
things to really
что
look out for is either getting 150%
мы
or
получаем не
200%,
прямую прибавку в
because
122%, 150,
hitting
350, как
when it shows
в серии
200%,
Gears, например,
200%
Ксена.
guarantees the use of something called
Это
overdrive,
именно
which is like
общая
an
прибавка
extension of the
урона,
combo.
сколько
A
процентов
random
он не
amount of
сказал.
characters who are involved in the combo are gonna then go into overdrive, use a few more attacks, and those attacks cannot be blocked, which is actually really, really important because most actions put you either into a blocking or an evading stance. Same with the enemy. Like that bat uses poke and it can block attacks coming from before or after it. 150% is also still relevant because if we hit 150%, which we did here, 153, there is a chance for an overdrive.
Yes, 40%.
40% is okay. I didn't actually know the correct number for that. And in this fight, there's another kind of mechanic that we don't really get to use ourselves here. There are spells in this game on top of the regular skills. Spells usually have channeling times, so we saw that guy channeling up. We knew that he wouldn't be doing anything the previous time. Ooh.
Wait, this is gonna hit 200% now.
Yeah.
I think, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be one-handed tech.
Yeah, it's gonna be delayed. So
Yeah, it is, because I only use one-handed.
yeah.
So one-handed techs build the combo rate more in a combo than two-handed. Oh, no! Wait, it wasn't 200 anyway. Oh, it's not a big deal. Also, Soul has an instant death chance, and it can actually apply on this guy. So, like, about 10 to 20% at this point. Like I said, the lower the HP, the more likely status ailments are. If I'm really lucky, I just use one saw on this guy and he's done. But that's not usually how it goes.
Something you saw happening in that previous combo, by the way, is that at the timeline, like you do set up your timeline at the very beginning of the turn, make sure that you have everything set up, but different moves have different effects on the timeline even while they're happening. Like, for example, you can delay characters, or you
Ну, вот
can
весь рассказ
move
крутится
around the
вокруг
timeline
таймлайна,
to
потому что
interrupt or
это
something like that. In this
определяющая
case, what happened
механика
is Lancelot glimmered a move,
в
got
этой
a new
части.
attack, he got brusque slice, which has some minor utility throughout the run, but it delays the enemy. And so we retroactively canceled our combo, which only meant that we couldn't get another overdrive in this case. It can be
Ну, вот
a
он
little bit of a nuisance
говорит,
every now and again
что
if the enemy delays us
иногда мы
unexpectedly,
специально
or
отменяем
if
комбо,
we
чтобы
don't pay attention on our
противник не
setup. We're
получил
like, okay,
замедление, и
this
мы
should
могли
work,
набрать
and it
еще
seems
один
like it
овердрайв
works,
в
but then a
процессе.
delay comes out and it cancels the combo. So it's not just that you like prepare the combo, you have something set up, and that's what's going to happen. It's like a lot of the attacks have different effects that you also have to consider while making these decisions for the turns really, really quickly, which is why you're sometimes not going to be able to catch on to everything that's happening in the run.
Yeah, like what this run is really about is that I don't need to try to make like really optimal turn like actions, like choose my actions optimally really quickly. Okay, hold on. No, it's gonna be better if I. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that that spell doesn't go off. Blade is gonna be better, and then that should be enough. Unless the no, hammer blow should be fine. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So, frogs are pretty rough because they have stuns and they have delays. So, like we just talked about, like things don't necessarily always go as like it seems at the start. That's especially true with frogs. Fortunately, we can see what the enemies are doing.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the turn, when you're starting to choose your actions, you can tell what the enemy is doing in most of the occasions, unless the enemy is using some kind of conditional. Then I guess for a casual player, it's mostly guesswork. But if you know the game well, you know what's gonna happen. In this case, hammer blow hit the cat, so it stunned the cat.
I'm even in the formation where I have stun resistance.
Oh, you already changed your walker, I didn't notice.
Okay, but that's a little bit lucky at least. That kind of saved me from getting a hit there.
They're only using hammer blow, that's kind of lucky. So they have another move called Amphibian Assault, which both delays and has a stun chance. Also, it's stronger than hammer blow. It's just
Ну вот он сейчас говорит с API, который предполагает, что, возможно, лягушек смогут задержать, и это позволит нам поставить еще один скилл на таймлайн.
I unleashed one of my monster abilities from the cat now, so that's going to make space for more abilities. So now I could absorb this, which isn't necessarily that much better than what I already have, because I already have counter kick, which is like one of the good frog abilities. But Unleash also, it makes the tech stronger when you use it. And it also makes it that I can't miss, and it only costs 1 BP ever to use it. So
it's basically a very nice trade-off for cycling through some of the moves that you won't really have too much use for anymore in the run. Alright, yeah, that was nice. That could have been much worse.
Yeah, there's still one more fight left in this world, which I would say is like the hardest one. Yeah. Well, the frogs sometimes really give you trouble, but overall I would say the last battle here is going to be the hardest one.
So something that's going to become really relevant after this world specifically, and I'll start talking about it right now because it's already had a little bit of an effect. This game, or many SaGa games have something called Formation, which means you can arrange your characters in a certain way. It gives them a certain position, which means some hits only hit like every character in a line, or only the front row characters, something like that. And they also have some extra bonuses in this game. Like, for example, you can have higher attack, defense, or lower attack or defense as a trade-off. And Warcry specifically is a formation where every character gets stun resistance, which is why it was unfortunate that Cat got stunned in the first place. But one character at I think in this case in the front or in the back, it doesn't really matter, but one character, in this case Formina, gets a bonus that allows her to use 1 less BP per technique. And the formations we're using in this run are really chosen purely because they give us BP reduction. It's really, really good, and this world will give us a really, really good one for that.
This is really good.
That is really good. Yeah, you saw the first turn on the previous fight, then immediately reattempted because the talent wasn't really ideal.
Yeah, I was a little scared. Like, it might have been fine, but I was like this could end badly if I get unlucky here.
Yeah, and this fight is like especially a little bit annoying because those turnips, there are 2 turnips and 2 harpies. The turnips can use something called nudge, and nudge provokes you, which it's not a lot of damage that you take from that, but the problem of provoking
Вот
is that
сейчас они дошли до того, что говорят про провокацию. Это раздражающая механика ровно из-за одной причины. Когда вы получаете провок, ваш персонаж начинает атаковать того, кто является источником провокации, что не очень удобно для нас.
At full HP they might.
Maybe, but it's really, really strong. So we're probably...
Oh, this is already enough. Okay, I'll be getting 1 absorb here.
Okay.
So if I'm lucky, I get the Dance of Feathers. But I'll take anything. Basically, like, the more conditionals I manage to get on my cat, the stronger the showstoppers are gonna be. And to be honest, I don't really know, like, depending on what kind of timelines I get, it might be, ideally it would be Formina doing the showstoppers, but that's not always going to be the case. So then, Lancelot is not too bad at showstoppers, and then if I get a lot of those conditionals on the cat, then the cat is actually going to be a powerhouse.
Yeah, like we already have Starfixer, we got Frigid Veil.
Вот они сейчас говорят о том, что скоро Кот станет главным источником нашей силы.
It costs 4 BP, so then it's like not very efficient for a showstopper.
But we turned that in for interrupting tackle. So far we've actually gotten the best moves we can, and we don't know what we got from the Harpy yet, but we'll see that in the next world. What we're doing now is we leave the world, and every world has several endings. You can approach them in a various amount of ways, and you're going to have different things happening, but ultimately there are going to be like 3 or 4 endings to most worlds. And what happens in this world is you basically help the fire faction from start to finish, and in the end they're all kind of banding together, and you're allowed to choose one of them to go with you. We're going to choose the fire guy, who originally was used in a run, but is mostly used because the formation we get is... Suspicion, I got it right this time.
Speculation.
No, I didn't get it. Dang it. It's speculation. And speculation is absolutely crazy, especially for showstoppers. It has 2 slots with BP reduction 1, meaning we're going to put the cat and Lancelot in those slots, so they use 1 less BP per attack, which 1 is the minimum, by the way. You can't be using 0. That would be crazy. And the middle slot, which is where Formina is going to go for a crazy tax, is BP -2, meaning that anything that costs 3 BP or less, which are usually already kind of strong attacks, only costs 1. And if we then get a showstopper, nothing survives. Except for maybe the final boss if it's not at full HP.
Ну, вот он говорит о том, что в финале все будет ставиться так, что никто не будет выживать, кроме финального босса за одну ротацию.
Is that every formation has a way of how they generate BP. Most of them just generate BP as turn passes. Some of them actually generate BP as you use like interruptions and all that, or all kinds of conditionals. Speculation generates BP by defeating enemies throughout the fight. So if you're fighting a single enemy, like a single big boss, something like that, we're never gonna get more BP throughout the fight. We're gonna keep 4 BP, which is not that much, honestly. Gives us up to 5 attacks on a showstopper. But on fights with extra enemies, it means that we'll be seeing a lot of BP and really big showstoppers. We're also seeing then upgrading weapons here. We have every character has 2 weapon slots, and Formina is using a 1-handed and 2-handed gun. 2-handed guns are generally just strong and good for showstoppers. 1-handed guns are where we get most of our conditionals from that are really, really strong. Our heal stuff, that's not terrible, I guess. It's not Dance of Feathers, but...
Well, this was definitely not a good showstopper. I got Blind, which is a 3 BP move. That's, well, not bad for, like, the last tech, because last tech, like, kind of doesn't matter how expensive it is.
Oh, let's just try it again.
Let me see if... no, I actually cannot get... Yeah, it's like sometimes you want to, like, get rid of some of the techs by unleashing them, but then, like, in the like current turn, it would kind of be inconvenient to use.
So for the showstopper, it's important. I did say like you need to have vacant space to the left and to the right. It needs to be 2 spaces, but it doesn't mean that it just needs to be free. Like there need to be 2 spaces. If you're getting pushed into the first or second slot, it means you're not gonna have enough space on the left side of the timeline, which means it's not gonna be showstopper right now. I mean, he's using conditional, so that's
That
fine.
is a blunt interrupt. I'll remember it this time.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like, okay, because there's a blunt interrupt happening, let me like, you know, not use smash because it has blunt element. But then like I forget about it by the time it's like the cat's turn and use rush and I get interrupted. Okay,
So
that's maybe enough.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, slice. Wait, which move is slice? Oh, brusque slice.
Oh, it's not.
Oh yeah.
Never mind.
You know, sometimes during the entire run, I don't even get brusque slice, but now I have it already.
Yeah, you got really early to mess up that combo.
Вот сейчас он говорит, что обычно ему не везет на навык, который сейчас мы выучили. Прямо сейчас он его получил, что очень хорошо для стабильности ран.
Here's is usually like gun attacks, for example. Oh, not right. I guess. Yeah, I did not pay attention to that.
No, I was thinking like, oh, if that's gonna happen, if I'm gonna miss that, it's gonna be so dumb. And of course it didn't happen.
Yeah, then set himself up for failure there. He used Rush, which is a move that delays the enemy, and the cat was right next in the timeline to the like spider. I keep calling it Omega, like from Final Fantasy, just because it kind of looks like that. And Rush delays the enemy, so they swapped places in the timeline, which interrupted the combo retroactively, meaning that Formina was now able to miss, which she did.
Yeah, I like to say that no combo equals miss, like
yeah.
Especially in the speedrun, it's like I swear, like every single time I'm like, oh please just hit. It's not gonna hit.
There's also enemy combo with 150% equals overdrive, even though it's supposedly 40%, but if the enemy gets that 40% chance, it's like 200. All right, so this fight is generally not super bad. We have a lot of picks on Lancelot in this case. You want to be able to utilize a showstopper fairly early just to make sure. Ooh!
You know, I don't get this every day either.
A quick shot? I've not seen you get that at all. Just run to the what you do?
That's nice. I'll take it.
It's an interrupt, which I think I tried to explain 2 times at this point. So interrupts there are 3 physical types: slash, blunt, and pierce. And different interrupts react to different types of moves. So, for example, there are slash interrupts, blunt interrupts, and pierce interrupts.
Ну вот он сейчас рассказывает о том, что разные типы атаки могут прерывать определенные атаки.
And that spider mech, that Omega thing earlier, has a blunt interrupt, meaning that we want to make sure to not use blunt attacks, especially not combos, because he'll intercept those. And interrupts are generally really, really strong. That's what we're looking out for Formina to be getting, because with interrupts, they can be used in showstoppers, and showstoppers are.
Oh wait,
no, wait, what are you?
Now I'm like trapped in here. I need to go all the way around it. The direction of the sand in this world is random, so I was kind of hoping that I would go conveniently, but instead it went like as bad as it could.
Yeah.
I had to go like all the way around the world.
In this world, you basically just it's a world that was. Beforehand, like a normal world, but someone opened something called Pandora. We don't know if it's a box or whatever, or at least it's not this close this early on. It's like kind of what you're trying to figure out too. And that Pandora caused everything to be covered in sand, and now we're trying to figure out what is Pandora and how do we fix this. And on this mission, we're also fighting these guys, these robots. There are 2 blue robots and 1 gray robot. The gray robot we usually take down first because his HP isn't that high and it's really easy to get rid of that.
Yeah, as long as my character's hit here, I think I get the kill.
Well, actually, hitting so far.
Okay,
nice.
good.
Okay. The problem with these guys, especially the blue. Oh.
I'm gonna do nothing.
Yeah, so conditionals don't apply if you don't do anything. They cannot counter you if you don't do anything. They cannot interrupt you if you're not doing anything. And specifically the conditionals of these guys,
если вы ничего не делаете, то противник не может на вас наложить никаких статус-эффектов, не может ничего с вами сделать, кроме как нанести урон. Это забавно.
And as you might have guessed already, like if there's a chance for that to happen to us, it's gonna happen.
It's a pretty high chance on Demise Disc.
Yeah.
It's a similar, the same animation as Saw, which we were using earlier as well, but Saw you can use like at will. Demise Disc is a conditional, so typically conditionals are stronger.
Yeah. And what basically happens is if you don't pay attention and they're using the Demise Disc several times, you're just going to lose real quick.
Yeah, the problem is that, so Demise Disc is Pursuit. Now I could use a ranged attack to quell the Pursuit, but if the other guy is targeting the Pursuit on the guy that's like quelling it, then I would end up getting hit by it anyway.
A big chain of action that just does not play out well for us.
So this is actually getting a little scary here because he's now dead. If I get like really bad timelines here, this could.
Oh,
okay,
no, it's fine. Sure.
I get the perfect timeline instead. I'll take it.
We move Formina one slot back, and now she gets a sword. Probably easy, and that is definitely gonna kill. You see so that's also a cool little thing about SaGa games. When you have these kind of combos, they just align the words back to back. So now we have a Gatling, Quick Thread, Rapid Sharp Fire. Theirs can be really funny and also really, really long. Once they take up full screen, they just shrink down in size, and that takes us getting massive. So these attacks are really, really funny sounding.
So there's going to be like another battle right after, and this battle is actually really scary. So, explain.
Yeah, so in this fight, what you first have this dung roller guy at the beginning of the timeline. It's an AoE move, and he can prevent you from combos because dung roller can cause a stink status effect on your party, which you're probably. Yeah, you saw it in 2 guys, which cancel the combo. Stinky characters cannot combo. They can Showstopper, which is a combo,
That helped.
but they can't do it with other characters. That was a really good custom tech. The idea of this fight is getting rid of all the enemies by the end of turn 2, because once turn 3 starts,
Сейчас основная цель избавиться от всех врагов
in
до
turn
конца
3,
первого
there's gonna
хода.
be reinforcements. It's gonna be one snake slithering into the fight.
Просто на третьем ходе
Generally,
будет
I guess
подкрепление,
it's
что не очень хорошо.
not horrible in the sense of like you can still win the fight, but it loses a lot of time because of the extra animation, extra character on a time, and it also gives you worse timelines in general. That not stunning is good.
Didn't get stunned
Ooh,
at least.
counter kick gets activated. Okay.
Okay, I think I'll be able to kill one of these guys here.
Yeah, but there's gonna be reinforcements, so it's gonna be a decently long fight.
Yeah, counterattacks are of course like unless you have provoked the enemy, which would guarantee targeting. It's gonna be like I'm just gonna hope that somebody's gonna target the one using counterattack, which isn't of course too unlikely. Wait, I don't have anything like that. No.
No, I think you can just like have everyone act first, so it's not petrifying anyone. So the snakes can be a little bit of a problem because they have petrification, and petrification can.
The rush didn't hit, so then like also Formina didn't act before, but also Formina missed anyway.
Another petrification. So petrification is a problem because it basically ejects your character out of the party, out of the fight, but he's still clogging up the timeline. So there's just gonna be a random dead weight in the middle of the timeline, ruining everything you're trying to do.
Okay.
In this case,
Ah,
we go
ладно.
for it. It can be really, really annoying, but that actually worked out fairly nicely in terms of.
В общем-то, все крутится вокруг...
Not a good fight, but we got out of it.
Yeah.
Все крутится вокруг того, что надо заполнить таймлайн так, чтобы мы завершили файт до того, как либо придет подкрепление, либо противник скастует какую-то фигню, которая задержит нас по ходам. Все это довольно-таки хорошо рассчитано. И для JRPG стандартная стратегия, то, что у тебя огромная бумажка, в которой все ходы записаны.
Someone from that group basically hands her a little, how do you call it, a frame to a so-called gridgram puzzle. All these puzzles are called gridgram puzzles, and our objective is to collect triangles or different shapes to solve this puzzle. And we do that by just finishing all kinds of worlds, meaning that basically what you're trying to do in the Bonnie and Formina playthrough is you're just not finishing specific worlds, but just a certain amount of worlds. I think you need 8 triangles. Was it 8?
I think that's
I know, like you need a certain amount of triangles, so you need to do that amount of worlds. All our worlds are, of course, specifically chosen. They don't always happen in the same order, but we have an optimal order that we try and want to see. For example, there's a world later on that we definitely want to see as late as possible, just because it's kind of difficult if we don't have the appropriate techniques. And in this case, we're using the delta base specifically, because this is one of the unique worlds where you can get 2 triangles, which is, it does exactly what it sounds like. It allows us to skip an entire world. So we really want to make sure that we get through delta base. And it's funnily enough through an event that looks like it should be doing more in the game than it actually does. Like when I first did this, I was like, oh, is that like maybe leading up to a secret boss or something? But no. If you're not playing Bonnie and Formina, it's actually useless. But if you're playing Bonnie and Formina, you at least get to skip a world. And that's like about it.
Забавно.
Yeah, I
Еще
wanted to mention earlier,
почти все
like,
скипы здесь
it
довольно-таки
seems like,
забавные из-за того,
in
что
the, like, world selection,
некоторые
I was
моменты
kind of like
за некоторых персонажей
thinking
просто
they're
не нужны. И
solo.
здесь ты
That's because,
пропускаешь
like,
практически
the
целый мир
order,
из-за того, что ты играешь именно за этих
like
персонажей.
where the worlds are or
При
where
этом,
the gates
если
are
ты
is really nice,
пройдешь
and
необязательные
what worlds
условия, то
are
тебе даже
available is
секретного
also
босса
really
не
nice.
дадут. Это
Well,
как-то,
up to this point, it's
как говорится, в
consistent.
JRPG так не
I can
принято.
always do things in this order, but after this point, it's not going to be consistent anymore.
On top of that, the descriptions don't strictly say like, oh, you're going to the delta base or you're going to the jungle. They're, if you first play the game, you don't know
Сейчас
what
он
to make
говорит,
of it
что
at all. And later on, there are going to be some very
описание
small
вообще
tests that
ничего не
basically
помогает
figure out which
зачастую.
one are you actually going for.
И тебе приходится
Now we have
разбираться в
fight
том,
through
куда
these
идти и что
zombies,
делать.
which is not terrible because they're not necessarily dangerous, but the problem is that they can again just like AoE you, use stink on you.
I think I let this guy have a showstopper.
Well, it's
Yeah, it's gonna be fine. I'm trying to make sure that I get 1 kill turn 1, because that gives me a good chance then to finish the fight on the next turn.
do you need needles?
Oh, they're even overdriving.
Topless.
Nah, I'm gonna be taking a lot of. Wait, oh, that actually killed already. I didn't.
Oh, that wasn't even the showstopper yet. I didn't see that. Yes.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, like again, the fight isn't necessarily dangerous, really. It's just it can be a little bit of a nuisance. We're trying to make sure that Lancelot gets a showstopper here. And as long as Needles
do
doesn't
that
hit
already.
him, he should be fine. Because Needles could stun him. Or kill
Okay,
him if
good.
both attack him.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine now.
Yeah. Also, I find it kind of funny that we have this character
okay, never
Lancelot
mind.
who is like considered a knight of the round table. And it's just like a dude, regular clothes, no armor. He's just like a random guy you could meet on the street, maybe talking a bit more like Destiny-ish or whatever.
It's like you're a neighborhood British office worker guy.
Who just happens to be like a knight.
Okay, that fight was kind of slow, but yeah, that fight is it's problematic. There's like a lot of things that they can do to disrupt you, and
Yeah.
I didn't happen to get any like Formina showstoppers. Like, apparently, there's a lot of like variants that you can have in these fights. Like if you get Formina showstoppers, these fights can go really
Сейчас
fast.
он рассказывает о
And then
том,
if you
что
don't get them,
есть
then
очень
they
большая
can take
вариативность в том,
quite a
что
while,
может произойти в
depending on
этих
what
боях.
happens.
It's still really nice if we get like a cat showstopper or a showstopper of Lancelot, but the drop off from a Formina showstopper to any other showstopper is already kind of massive, and not getting any showstoppers can also be pretty annoying. So our goal is really just to work for showstoppers, especially because our formation is kind of chosen for that specific thing as well, because we have very low BP costs, so we can just line them all up.
Говорит то,
So
что у
in
нас
this
очень
delta
низкий
base,
расход
what is happening is basically there are three
навыков,
factions,
из-за
the
чего мы
red,
можем
the green, and the
позволить
blue
себе
division. They all
просто
do their own research, but
заспамить
it's
свою
a
линию
very highly
действий.
developed society here, and they've figured out a lot of things. They are researching like teleportation, all that. A lot of them have been alive for a gazillion years, and what we're trying to do is we're basically helping each of these guys a little bit. We helped the red division first twice in a row, so we can be done with their stuff. We do the green division, which we did their quest, and now we're doing that one thing that I described earlier, which seems a lot more important than it actually ends up being. Because we free this guy, and if you played a few scenarios before, you're like, oh, it's a blonde guy. He looks like the guys from Crustaceum. that guy is surely important. Like, he was frozen here for millennia. No, he just leaves, and in this scenario, also gives you a triangle. Like, that's kind of it. And after that, we're also going to be helping the yellow division, because depending on which order you do them in and what you choose at the end, there are different endings again that you can get. And our goal is to get the ending with the yellow division, mostly because
Сейчас он говорит о том, что мы
quite
хотим
not that many
концовку с
enemies, and like it's just going to be one enemy. It's not
желтым
that difficult
вариантом,
fight, but
потому
it's
что там не так
not
много
a
врагов.
slow thing. For example, on other divisions, you would have to do multiple battles, or you'd have to run around
Сейчас
way
он говорит,
more.
что в других вариантах у нас там
We always
множество
try to go for the fastest.
битв
Green
будет.
division is like very comparable. It's also only one battle. Technically, it's an easier battle, but it has more opponents. It's 3 enemies in the fight, so that means that it's much less likely to get showstoppers, and it's less likely to finish the fight in like 2 turns.
And now you're going to be seeing a lot of these very difficult puzzles. Generally, when I played it casually, we keep calling them like puzzles for like 2 to 6-year-olds. Like, depending on difficulty, it's like, oh, that's a puzzle for 2-year-olds, puzzle for 4-year-olds. There got to be some which are absolutely like silly. Like this one, you literally just put the thing in, that's it. On the other one, you at least had to spin the tile. Like,
Yeah,
that requires some brain power.
and for this one, I actually need to move the tiles slightly.
Actually impossible. And the fun part is that even though they're so ridiculously easy, you can still quit out of most of those, and that will at the very least give you different dialogue, sometimes actually give you like a different branch of the scenario. Like in Avalon earlier, the dark city that we were in, it was also really, really easy puzzle, which required like 3 or 4 inputs maybe, because we had to turn one spot and
Сейчас он говорит, что это абсолютно абсурдно легкий пазл, потому что вам нужно сделать всего лишь 3 или 4 инпута, чтобы его пройти. Он сейчас говорит, и мы снова деремся с Омегой. На самом деле это не Омега, но он просто так его называет, потому что босс похож.
Yeah, well there's also Beam of Destruction.
Right, that's like his unique kind of thing.
So more puzzles, by the way. And for these, there's 3 puzzles where you don't need to do anything. I guess it's just used to like kind of visualize that okay, you're like connecting the circuit or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of these ritgrams are just completing shapes that are in this world, because the ritgrams are actually, it's not even, depending on the world you're in, it's not even that you only have this visualization of these triangles, but some of the worlds are specifically like saying like, oh, there are these triangles, we need to put them in a certain shape. So these things are actually like the locks or the circuits or just the gates or whatever that you need to.
Кстати, да, today's Wednesday, my dudes.
And now we're just moving around these elevators a little bit, because one of these things is not available right off the bat, so we just move around a little bit. We know where to go, of course. It's not random in this case, so we just walk around a little bit. All of this is done because, I guess story-wise, this yellow division guy transferred his consciousness into this Omega machine, or orichalcum skeleton specimen, and now we're trying to kind of slow him down a little bit, so now we can fight him.
Well,
Starts with a conditional. We can get his cat stopper instantly if we don't start with blunt. That is. So cat scratch probably? Yeah.
A strong foe brings satisfaction to both body and soul.
Sure, Lancelot.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
wait, this is 3 different
that is
conditionals.
really good combo. That's gonna be about as much damage as we can get right now. With the cat, that is. It's not
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah,
Formina.
I mean, this is good for the cat, but for me,
Yeah.
I could do over half of its HP at best.
The guy also gets debuffs, which is pretty convenient. Maybe. Yeah, Frigid
Oh.
Bell moves him far enough.
Okay, well, that's gonna waste some of my BP from the showstopper, but
Yeah. To reiterate how showstoppers work, you basically have like whatever BP is remaining plus 1, that's what's going to be used. And the way the moves are selected is that it's using as many moves as it can from the selection, plus a 1 move that just like kind of depletes the timeline. Oh, not the timeline, the BP. So we're usually going to be seeing like around 3 to 7 moves later on.
yeah, this is not looking very ideal right now,
The
but
late shot? Oh, not salvo. That's the beam of destruction. Bye-bye. Something we didn't mention at all yet. So conditionals are
Бедный
actually
котик, мы
they're
его
not as
потеряли.
overpowered as we might have made them out to be so far. The fight's done, by the way, now. Conditionals can be quelled. Conditionals, of course, have like some preparation time. The conditions need to be met for that attack to happen, which means you can also interrupt conditionals. For example, if you're acting before the boss, in this case, what happened is the boss acted before the cat. The cat was on Frigid Veil, which is a counter, right?
yeah.
Yeah. But because the boss used a ranged attack, it was able to quell the conditional, where otherwise Frigid Veil had a chance to block the damage and counter instead. The quelling made it so that the conditional became useless. So it's not that you see a conditional, you're trying to scramble on, oh, what am I going to do now? You see the conditional, you have a chance to just nullify that, basically. And now we got Administrator Gold for a party. Most of the worlds hand you a party member at the end of it, like, yo, just like grab this guy and move on. Administrator Gold is again a mech, same as Minstrel earlier on, but he's actually going to be useful at the very tail end of the run. Wait, that is half a
Right
right
home.
home, right? Yeah. So this world is actually pretty interesting. It's rather unique in how we approach it. So it's a world which is just waging an endless war against chaos, interestingly enough. And what's basically
Он сказал
happening is
это
you have this
слово.
guy who constantly
Endless
summons
War
in warriors from
against
other worlds.
Chaos.
Which is actually relevant in one of the
Final
scenarios.
Fantasy Origins сразу
Wolf
вспомнилось.
guards in one of them.
Chaos.
But in all other scenarios, you just get summoned in. You're like,
Да,
oh
кот.
yeah, what's my role? He's like, oh, your role is here, and then you're.
Главный
as a
керри
seer,
этой
just-
пати это кот.
The idea is to conquer chaos, but what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna eject everyone out of the party except for Minstrel. Mechs, again, the stats depend on the equipment, so we're gonna absolutely remove everything. He's gonna be left with 90 HP. And mechs have the downside that, or in this case, upside actually, if they don't do anything, characters usually have a blocking stance. Mechs don't do that. So we're basically using this Minstrel as a punching bag to get beat up 8 times by all these different enemies, because it doesn't matter whether you win or lose these fights. A lot of fights have these like alternate conditions similar to the Ritgram puzzles. And in Brightroom, we lose 8 battles with Minstrel, and then we're just like, I mean, we can kill Chaos anyway, so like, let's do that. It's way faster than actually finishing these battles. I don't know if you're getting more battles if you finish them, but just winning takes way longer than losing.
Yeah, it's the same amount of battles that you would do either way. It'll be faster to lose, but another thing I should mention, if you maybe you've wondered at this point, like, how do we kind of like keep up with our like levels, or like how are we gonna be strong enough for like the final boss or something like that? Well, generally, especially in this game, but also generally in SaGa games, there's like scaling systems, so enemies scale with you, and especially in this game, like if I just don't do a lot of battles during the run, then the final boss is just gonna like it's just gonna match my level, whatever it is. I mean, there is like kind of a
Он сейчас
formula
говорит,
where it's
кстати,
like,
о том, что в
some
игре
kind
есть
of like
скейл-система.
it'll be at least this strong,
И это немного
it'll be
абсурдно, потому
like
что чем
higher
больше вы
level
фармите,
than
тем
like the
сильнее будет
general
финальный
battle
босс.
level, and things like that. But either way, like we don't really need to worry about grinding or anything like that. But
Ну, в
one
ране
thing
это
to note
позволяет
is
не
that
беспокоиться о гринде, но следует
winning
отметить, что
battles
победа в
does
битвах
increase battle rank.
увеличивает
Losing battles actually contributes to reducing the battle rank to some
как это
degree.
называется.
I'm not exactly clear on like exactly how the formula works, but basically by losing these battles instead of winning, we're keeping the battle rank down instead of increasing it, and that's only really going to be an advantage for us, because if you're going to be increasing battle rank, then you would want to also get
Вот
stronger.
боевой
Yeah,
уровень,
'cause, like, when
вот
the
battle
enemies are
rank.
stronger,
Потому
that
что
actually
чем
gives you the
выше
opportunity to
боевой
get
ранг,
stronger
тем
too. You'll
сильнее
be able to
противники,
glimmer
поэтому мы специально
more
проигрываем
powerful
зачастую.
techs, and you'll find better materials to get better upgrades for your weapons, and you'll be like more likely to increase your stats and things like that. but considering the like amount of battles that we do in this run and the amount of materials that we collect and amount of time there is to glimmer anything, it's really just going to be better to keep the battle rank as low as we can. So the route is really just to like do as few battles as possible, and if we can lose a battle instead of winning, then that will be preferable.
And that's something I really like about SaGa games. Like, I kind of recently got introduced to the SaGa games with a remake of Romancing Saga 2 that came out last year. And SaGa games really just, as mentioned, they don't force you to grind or anything. It's not like, oh, I can't beat the final boss because I'm necessarily too weak or something like that. This battle rank mechanic that is prevalent in most, if not all, the SaGa games just balances you along the way. And it doesn't work like an FF8 where you just like, you get stronger, the enemy gets stronger. It kinda tends to look at like how you're doing. Like they figured out a way to balance it not just around your stats, but around how you're doing in these battles. It doesn't look at the battle like, oh, you finished in 2 turns, you're like way too strong or something like that. For the most part, at the very least. But it kind of looks like what you fought. Did you win? Did you lose? A lot of it.
Yeah, I don't really know like how it determines it. I was kind of thinking of like doing some research on that, especially if I'm like thinking of shrouding like a platinum trophy speedrun kind of or something like that. I would definitely need to look into that in that case. But I do know at least that having your party members fall in battle means that it's not going to like increase as much as if like nobody in your party like dies and you win. In that case, it's going to increase more. But yeah, it definitely takes like multiple things into account, and overall this game is like very tightly balanced. You can always expect like a very kind of balanced difficulty.
Is this the one turn death on this fight?
Yeah, that's...
I've never seen that. I've not seen you get. You
Он
probably
говорит,
saw it.
что никогда не видел,
I don't
что
know if I've actually ever seen that. That's
этот
really
бой
unlucky,
проходили
really.
за
Like, those
один
guys,
ход.
they can just choose not to do any offensive action.
Yep. Especially the werewolf has an action or a condition that he likes to use where he protects the another enemy, and the slime has something where it can just buff its defense. Usually you see some of that happening, but in this case we actually just got annihilated immediately, which is really good. On top of that, they're not necessarily strong either, so even if they both do something, not much is going to happen a lot of times. And now we finally got beat up by Chaos, so it's time for payback. We're now going to be fighting Chaos, who, given how we did in this world, we again have like a certain way the scenario played out. And in this case, Chaos is represented as a tree.
That kind of works. Hold on.
Yeah, this is not that bad. So this fight can be a big nuisance because the werewolf protects these guys a lot of times. The turnip, as earlier, has the potential to provoke you, as well as the tree. It can also provoke you. And it's really...
Oh, actually...
Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
It'll be fine.
It's fine.
Surely
Surely he'll get rush.
Oh,
Surely.
Oh, delay him. Delay him. Yeah!
Oh. So, and that was all planned, by the way. Like, that guy was not about to get a showstopper, and the showstopper surely wouldn't have absolutely annihilated us.
And would you look at this? Oh, this is going well. I was having trouble with this fight earlier in some practice, but wow.
Is this gonna...
Oh, no.
Almost.
So
Unless you glimmer.
Oh! Shockwave too? Wow.
Dude, I mean, planned, obviously.
I'm just that good.
Yeah, so that fight can actually be a really big nuisance because, again, like, you can get provoked, they can protect the other guys and all that. And in practice recently, of course, it might have been because the fight wasn't approached the best way by trying to kill the big threat first, while taking off the little turnip might be the better idea in a lot of, not always, but in a lot of scenarios. In this case, kind of dream fight pretty much.
Yeah,
2 turns is really, really good.
2 turns is the best they can be.
В общем-то,
And
получился
again, those
идеальный
glimmers
бой.
are random. The overdrive is random on how effective it is. The skill selection on
Сейчас он
overdrive
говорит
is
о том, что
mostly
практически
random.
все
And in
в
this
боях
case, the
рандомно.
enemy also only used a move that did not block attacks that came before him. which means if he would have been blocking, he would have not been able to get pushed in the timeline. But because we got rushed, and because he wasn't blocking, he was able to be moved to not be a threat at all. That was really, really cool, honestly. And now we're in, I keep forgetting the name of the word, Vermiglio, yes. Bunch of triangles. And what we're trying to do here is we're basically trying to power up the world. You saw everything was lit up, and suddenly everything got shut down. You're like, okay, something must have happened. You're trying to investigate a little bit. And the idea of this world is just to reactivate all the triangle generators, because they basically figure out some kind of way of infinite energy. What we're trying to do now is when you glimmer actions, they get added to your skill list, but you can only have up to 8 skills available at the beginning of the fight. I specifically said it like that because if you glimmer something, you get it for that fight, and you keep it for that fight, even if it exceeds the limits of 8 moves. But at the end of the fight, it then gets removed from the list, and you can just add it, like, afterwards. And we got Shockwave on that previous fight, which was the only reason that it was a 2-turn fight. And Shockwave is actually a really nice move. Shockwave is a really nice move because it moves
Что
you
это
back
вообще
in time.
такое? Это серия SaGa, которая в самой последней итерации получила вот такой вот нестандартный вид. Я, кстати, сейчас даже поинтересуюсь, мне очень интересно, не сделана ли эта сага на UE Engine.
No, I should have used Buckshot, then I would have stayed up there and I'm...
Oh yeah, and that guy dying. Yeah, actually.
I could have done better.
It's fine. Like, a lot of times, because you have to decide so quickly, even if you're just looking from the side, it's not always not obvious what the correct
Ну,
turn is
все,
gonna be, 'cause there's
ответ
so many
понятен.
factors
Игра
to
релизилась на андроидах и прочих.
Try Venom twice in a row is a little bit sketch, but I think you can probably... Like, you can definitely take out one of these. I don't know about the other one.
I'll try this, as long as Lancelot isn't one dying here.
Yeah.
That should finish the fight.
Well, he is indeed not dying.
Okay, well, I don't remember that ever missing, but I guess it can miss as the same as all other attacks. He definitely would have died if that hit.
Yeah, definitely, because those tri-attacks are generally really, really strong. And one thing that happens with progressing battle rank is that as you progress through the game, the enemies themselves don't really change for the most part, but like which enemies you're fighting, I mean, in this case, but enemies kind of unlock more skills. At the very beginning, they only have like cat scratch or like other very basic moves, but as you increase your battle rank by winning battles, the enemies are able to use certain conditionals or just generally really strong moves. So in this case, Tri-Venom is not something you'd be seeing at the very beginning of the run.
But they can only use it because it's this world.
Well, that on top of that. But you wouldn't really be seeing a lot of dangerous moves early on in the run. The game is, I guess, kind of careful around.
Yeah. I mean, you do get like 3 colors of the same enemies once your like battle rank is high enough. Basically, like the way the game is structured, it expects you to do like New Game Plus and carry everything over, and like after like like 10 playthroughs, you might actually be at a point where you're like getting pretty close to like stat caps and like getting the best weapons at that point or something like that. If you do a single run, you only see like a very small amount of what the game has to offer.
Yeah, because you really... there's so much more to this than what you see in a run. Even if you do all the characters, there's still so many more scenarios and variations. Even like variations within certain paths that you can be experiencing. I've 70 hours in this game by now. I still have one character to clear, and I still haven't seen like half of it. I feel like there's still so many bosses where you're just sitting there in the casual play for watching me play and be like, well, I wonder if he's gonna get that. So never mind. It's the same as the last 3 times. Just because it's also kind of hard to get some of these scenarios to work in the first place. For example, in this case, there are 3 different bosses you can see at the end of this world. I've done this world like 3 or 4 times. There's like a flying squirrel that you can fight, some demon, and I'm gonna call him mystery enemy number 3. A mystery in enemy number 3. I've never seen it. I don't know how to cause it. I don't know what to do for this. I don't even know what to change at this point. But in this case, to change from the squirrel, which can be a difficult fight, to the demon, which is the easiest of the 3, all you have to do is have seen that one cutscene that happened just now, because it kind of changes a little bit how the scenario plays out. In this case, it was like some how do you call it, difficulties between the different parties of this world, and you have now seen that guy be a little shady, so you're gonna call him out on that, and then he's gonna be like, oh, I guess I'm gonna reveal my true form, and then he's just like some big demon.
Actually, it wasn't that cutscene yet. That's comes later.
I thought it was that one already. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, we'll see if it happens. It like kind of depends on like how this world goes, because there's this like red portals or like the red events, which like currently in this game mean that it's just gonna be an enemy encounter. Nothing special is really gonna happen, but you can fight if you want. Oh, there's an easy encounter.
Ooh, okay.
How nice.
So yeah.
You know what? Let me also mention that like the encounters can be easy, normal, hard, or brutal. The final boss is gonna be considered a brutal difficulty, but other than that, like usually it's like it's like the kind of secret encounters that tend to be the.
Isn't that a slash interrupt that he's using?
Up.
Isn't he using a slash interrupt?
Yeah, I think it is, but it should be fine. Yeah, we're not gonna see any brutal encounters aside from the final boss, but the brutal ones are really hard when you like run into them.
Что самое интересное в этом ране, если не произойдет никаких неприятных событий, то практически ничему нет никакой угрозы для нашего раннера. А неприятных событий произойти может быть очень мало. Это, например, если кто-то начнет целиться только в одного из наших союзников и вырубит нашего керри. Но враги обычно распределяют свои атаки равномерно, так что угроза очень маленькая.
Portals are usually just conversations, sometimes progress as well. And the red portals are battles. And outside of this world, I think outside of this world, the battles really don't do much. In this world, the whole idea is you're setting up these generators, and then there's these anti-triangle monsters who are able to deactivate the reactors that you're trying to build up or reactivate here. So what we're trying to do is to make sure that these guys are as much as possible encased within activated zones, because that intercepts them in their attacks. If they're not in a zone, and they will deactivate reactors close by to them, which basically just reverts some of your progress. In that case, you don't need to really do much. You just go back and reactivate them. But every interaction you do with these generators basically ticks up a counter, and once like 3 or 4 generators have been interacted with, the enemies try to deactivate them, and whether they succeed or not, it will then cause them to move on to a different spot. Of course, the bigger your zone is, the more likely it is that they will spawn in a zone that intercepts them immediately. But earlier you saw that then actually took one of these encounters, because that encounter was not in the zone, plus it was actually required for that side scenario. But mostly, like, we wanted to make sure that he is not intercepting with any of us, any of our plans here. In this case, that was actually pretty smooth. It can go a lot more annoyingly.
Yeah, they didn't destroy any of them, actually. Yeah. Which does mean that, basically in that case, I'm generally not going to get the boss fight that's preferable, but the main difference really here is that this boss will have kind of like an intro little like entrance cutscene, and if I feel like I have to attempt the fight, I have to watch it again. That's like the main reason I want the other boss, if I can help it.
I guess you can also paralyze, potentially. Which
yeah, this boss is a little bit more troublesome in some regards. I do not have Bull Crush.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of rare to get at this point anyway, I think. Something we didn't go over too well yet is that there are different races in this game, like humans, there are monsters, mechs, and a few other ones as well, plants. And every like race or type of character has certain weaknesses that they can have. for example, demons and plants are weak
Ну,
to
вот он сейчас
slash.
говорит о
but
том, что в
these
зависимости от расы
demons and plants are weak to
враги
slash
имеют
attacks, which
разные
means that those who
слабости.
critically hit, they will
По
break
типу демонов,
potential
имеющих
defenses
слабость
and just
к
deal increased damage in general.
режущим ударам.
Okay, this time it'll work.
So oh, that cat is gone. Oh, well, actually, never mind. I guess it was blocking.
Yeah.
And now we have a Lancelot showstopper.
Okay, I think I should be fine. It's a little bit scary if like turn 1 isn't like that good.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, this looks.
But as
good.
long as she doesn't get hit, yeah, maybe
I'll
initiate.
play it safe like this.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So
If I
in this case, we weren't sure whether Formina or Lancelot or the cat gets targeted, and they could have gotten stunned, which would stop the showstopper. So we want to set it up in a way where, even if we don't kill now, we at least want to make sure to get out a lot of damage to make sure that any of them gets a showstopper. Very importantly, actually, regarding showstoppers, there can only be one per turn. So even if all the conditions have been met that an enemy or a character has enough space to use a showstopper, if there already has been a showstopper, like that's it in that regard for that turn.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's it.
Yeah, if I hadn't used Smash with Lancelot in the previous turn, I would have won already.
But at the same time, it was like a risk to not use it.
Yeah, I was trying to play it safe.
Yeah.
Вот он сейчас
Like, all
говорит
of
о том,
these
что
fights are, like, you
если
see them
бы
going
он не
well, but
использовал
actually, like,
слэш
if
в
I was
прошлом
unlucky,
ходу, то
boss could have acted like
они бы уже
here,
закончили
like,
этот файт.
early and been in like showstopper territory, and my characters could have been like to the right. In that case, I could be in trouble. So it's like, especially if I start losing characters in my party, it'll be harder for me to prevent their showstoppers.
And this has generally been going pretty well.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
pretty good. It's
good
like
speeds. We have like 2 worlds left, 1 world.
1.
Yeah, that's actually really fast. So, in total we have 1 more world left, which isn't like a super fast world, especially because there's still some variants in the scenarios that we can get. And we also have to actually get the world first. But after that world, it's going to be actually the final boss already, which isn't like a 2-minute fight. It does take a few minutes, but we are already kind of nearing the end of all of this. So, for this final world, unfortunately, we only get the choice of a singular world. So now we're basically just re-rolling which world we actually get. We want to see a world called Grelin, but we're usually going to see a Blossom world, whatever that one was called. I don't care, I don't like it. It's also slower. Grelin is a really good world if it goes right.
Yeah, all the worlds that are remaining at this point.
Oh,
okay,
that was
good.
quick.
The
It
worlds-
can take way longer.
Yeah, sometimes it's been like 20 resets. And
Yeah.
like yeah, that was okay. Okay. But yeah, at this point, all the worlds that are left are not like super good anymore. But this is like the best out of what's left.
Even though that one's also like this one can be very volatile.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah,
things can go wrong.
I've had so many runs die in this world, but
Yeah.
but I have learned a few things to make things a little more predictable, at least of what's going on, or like I'll be able to like determine if something doesn't look right and load a save.
Correct, because basically a lot of times so a very important thing for the rolling of this world or getting this world in the first place is that the game has autosaves and it doesn't save at the end of an event, which is actually pretty nice. It saves when you talk to an event. Like right there, for example, we interact with this character, which means that the game autosaves and then plays the event, meaning that if we were to load the autosave, it's like this event hasn't even been triggered. You're in the what do you call it? In the situation you were in right before interacting with it, which is really nice, both just like casually, but also in our case. This world is also very RNG heavy in the sense that every time you interact with those frozen people, there's a chance that you get encounters. You're generally going to get 2 encounters, but once you've seen 2 encounters, we're going to try to do something calling rewind, because during conversations, you have a lot of different choices, and you can actually, like if you do an option, you realize, oh, I kind of don't like that option. You're just going to rewind and redo whatever. And if we're fast enough, also, and once we've seen 2 battles, because that's kind of required anyway, we are able to rewind.
That's not enough.
What? We're able to rewind encounters is what I was going to try to say. Because rewinding can re-roll whatever's going to happen. A lot of times, the actual
It's going to be
result,
literally inconvenient, but
the actual result of what's going to happen is rolled right on selection. Like, for example, whether you get an encounter or not, gets rolled right when you unfreeze that person. And we're going to be getting 2 fights with those green frogs, and they can be really annoying. You see, we have Formina on...
well, now I need to get rid of that too.
Yeah.
Ну,
We have Formina only because we only have a limited amount of BP anyway. We're going to be able to use 5 attacks as long as we don't kill anything with a showstopper. And we want to make sure that we go before that frog, because the frog is able to call, like, welcome, whatever. I don't know what the move is exactly called, but what that move does is, you saw it in action here, it summons an extra enemy, which it can make the fight very annoying, but it also just slows it down a lot. So what we do is we ditch everyone else, and we only want the showstopper for minute, because it's the only way we can reliably kill it, like, before it actually does something. What we're gonna do is we're gonna re-roll the fight until we have a favorable scenario.
он сейчас
And
говорит, что
I
будет
guess in this
рероль.
case we just play it
Бой
out
будет
'cause it's more
реролиться до
purpose
тех пор,
setting, but
пока мы не
if we
получим
don't
нужный нам
kill,
сценарий.
depending on what happens, we might actually just reattempt the fight.
Yeah, I think it might be best to leave quick shot out. I think some of the other attacks will be better for damage
Yeah, you
overall.
usually don't have quick shot here.
Yeah, I'm not really used to having quick shots. I was thinking like yeah, quick shot is good. I'll keep it in, but it might be that this is coming down to like really kind of like um like precise damage optimization.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit like so it'd be best if I use like a lot of two-handed attacks to increase my combo rate in the showstopper first. So that's like basically the one issue here. If I use this,
remember the turn
Yeah.
discharge, yeah.
well, I'll also remove the quick shot now. It's there. Actually, yeah,
I guess
yeah. Threat response is actually
That one's
ever so
really, really
slightly
good.
stronger.
Yeah, so this should be a way to win the fight, but as you saw, it's not necessarily guaranteed, because the combo rate increases with every tech used. We're trying to mostly have two-handed gun techniques.
Well, this is optimal.
Yeah, because the way it works is the higher the combo rate, the stronger our moves become. It's not, again, like if we see 255%, it doesn't mean that they're 255% stronger or that kind of strength, but it just means that they're noticeably stronger. So what we're gonna want to see is in showstoppers have a lot of preferably weaker two-handed moves, which increase the combo rate, and then the strong conditionals at the end of it, once the combo rate is already high, to make sure that we actually get the kill. I think that's the last one, right?
No, there's one more.
Oh, one more. Okay. All right, the top right guy.
So at this point, we've done 2 encounters. So now if there's any more, I should be able to avoid them. But this is going to be the last one, and after this, the game is going to roll like different events. So I need to make sure that I get some like favorable events here.
So the goal right now is, you saw that little, you might have seen that little castle at the currently bottom of the screen. Oh, it's actually off screen right now. It's church, bathhouse, mines.
Coal mine. Okay. Well, I can check.
Check the bathhouse, I guess.
Yeah. So church ruins is the one that we don't want, because that means we have to go through 2 extra battles to get there. So if this isn't what we need,
Yeah, that's not what we need. So what we did there is we made a save, because as Dan said, the scenarios are getting rolled at some point between making the save and actually getting the scenarios. I think you mentioned a little more specific time recently, but we can't save after this point anyway. So we're just making the save here, re-rolling it a few times. And the idea is that we're trying to get into a castle to make, to basically try and lift the curse of the final emperor, which is the reason that all of this froze down in the first place.
what
Tower, coal mine.
Yeah, okay, I can check this if it's here. Okay, it's here, so
Good.
yeah, we're gonna be fine now.
So what we need to do is we need to get 2 redgram shapes, which are hidden in any of the areas. Both, some of them by chance pitch, but we get like a assortment of potential scenarios that we can go through, or locations that we can go to. And for example, the watchtower and bathhouse are locations where if you go there and don't get a battle but just immediately find an item, it means that you don't get the key item, which is not good. There are the mines, where if we have a combat scenario that includes some story, so if it's blue instead of just red, which is purely combat, it means that there's also going to be a puzzle piece, and we need to get 2 puzzle pieces right now, meaning that because we saw the coal mine with a battle, we needed to check the watchtower whether it has a piece or not. Previously we checked the bathhouse, it didn't have a piece, so we just re-rolled. And important to note, I guess right away as well, is that it's not going to be the only time we're getting those pieces. There's going to be a second part. We're going to get these pieces, get to the door and be like, oh, some of it's not working. Like, there are more slots, these pieces don't fit in. And then we're going to get a second set of locations, which will include a few locations that we haven't seen. Not any new ones, just things that haven't been rolled before. As well as whatever we didn't interact with yet, or wherever we didn't get a puzzle piece out of yet. So it's basically like, it's very random. Things can go pretty wrong here, and this is where you have to reset a lot potentially if you just don't get the Ritgram pieces. But the battles themselves are not that much of a problem for the most part, because these enemies are not terrible. Except for that guy, but I just don't like how he looks at you. These guys are very freaky. Maybe.
Oh,
spoilers.
Okay.
It will be enough.
I could have actually done a showstopper now that I think about it.
That's fine.
Think.
Combat is faster. Alright, so we got the piece in the watchtower, and we know that there's a coal mine, the coal mine available, so we're gonna go there and battle for a guaranteed piece. And then we have 2 pieces, which means we can once again make a save for the second time it roads these events to make sure that we again don't have to go to the church. As then mentioned, the church is the one location where to even check whether there's gonna be a piece or not, we have to go through 2 battles just to even unlock it.
Okay.
So I really wouldn't want to try that.
Well, it's probably fine. Okay.
План на игру
Yeah, as long
уже
as
не
the kill turn
поменяется.
one is really good, because that, once again, it increases my
По рассказу раннера, вот
BP,
вся эта стратегия непосредственно применяется весь ран. И
that'll
манипуляция.
probably do the job.
Главное слово, которое они говорят, это таймлайн. Вот именно,
Maybe
потому
not.
что от него зависит то, насколько
Now this
хорошо у
is
вас
immediately
пойдет
kind of
ран.
sketchy because Formina is now like pretty close to dying.
Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna be a
That's
slash interrupt.
and poison fangs, so I mean, you're not gonna be able to do. Oh right, no, you quelled him.
He has a bunch of eight. No, hold on. I'm gonna.
Yeah, just quell him and.
No, but then that doesn't work. Okay. But I'll just do it like this. I suppose that's gonna be enough.
Yeah, okay, she survived. That's good.
Oh, that's fine.
Overdrive? Anyone? There you go. Oh, let that rock have it.
Yeah. By the way, if I can,
Oh, let him have it.
if I break these rocks, that will also give me BP. They count as like enemies.
Yeah.
No, they don't do anything.
Сейчас он говорит, что сломав эти камни, мы получаем бипишки, потому что они считаются врагами, поэтому их уничтожение довольно-таки удобное.
Stall the others, I guess.
Unless I just ignore the fact that.
I don't know.
Well, I can use crunch.
Yeah.
Actually, let me get rid of crunch. I don't need it. I'll just use that for more damage.
So we know that the left fake that uses the conditional has a slash interrupt. The problem is that Lancelot exclusively has slashing moves, meaning that that we know that he's not going to be able to get it off a showstopper, so it wasn't even worth doing anything. And this is not nice.
Let me consider here. Probably kill this with that. Unfortunately,
knee
couldn't.
split. Knee split would have been nice.
Yeah, couldn't get the showstoppers go off. That would have really finished this. But
Yeah.
I mean, Lancelot versus Boar. Who could win? Find out very soon.
Yeah. A knight of the well, if he conditions you. And he goes before you. It's a knight of the round table hold.
It's
And
a
a
duel
pig.
now. Provoke? Well, I mean, I don't have any other targets.
Oh wow.
Well, here we go. Take this.
Let him have it. flowing and feebling sma, boasting brusque, cutting, pursuing blade. My favorite move.
That is what Lancelot is known for.
Yep.
His special move.
Takes a little while to say that too. Just like anime moves always do.
Yeah. Just wait until the anime adaptation of this game.
Every episode has just one showstopper name. So we got the two pieces, meaning that we're gonna go to that gate. Notice that it kind of doesn't fit because the shapes are kind of weird, which is like, I don't fully remember, but the shape is also gonna look different in a bit as well. I don't know. But we need two more pieces, that's what we surely know. We're gonna go to the museum, which will trigger a second set of events, and we're gonna once again save before just to make sure we can re-roll it again.
Сейчас он сохранится, чтобы быть уверенным,
Church and nothing useful. Because there's gonna be
чтобы
like
была
a
гарантированная
restart,
возможность
often which
перезапустить
also
бой,
takes a little bit to get.
если нам упадет неудобный
But
паттерн.
at the very least, it doesn't take as long.
This is
as-
fine.
Yeah, we have
Keep
two
in mind.
mines. Yeah, that's so.
So it is unfortunate that Virtual's favor would be better because that means no combat. But actually, I end up doing one extra battle this way compared to what would be ideal.
Yeah, the
But we're
mines
just
are
gonna deal with that.
mines are consistent with this. Virgil's favor, you have to collect 5 pieces of wood, and every piece of wood can, or every like set of pieces of wood can have a red grand piece in between them. But mines are guaranteed, so at this point, honestly, might as well just go for it.
The provoke was unfortunate. I couldn't get the kill now.
Actually, we have the time. We could also just like try and, you can try Virgil's favor. Maybe we're gonna actually get it. It'll be faster.
Well, I'm already in this.
But there's a second battle. I mean, you still have to win another one.
Yeah, but after I'm done with this, then we're back to like kind of on track.
Fair enough. Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
Okay, at
Oh,
least
we got
I
the
got
Мы
the
промазали.
So this is what the werewolf
Мы
would have done as
промазали
well.
и потом
There's
поймали обучение
protects in this game,
протекта.
meaning that you can tank an attack meant for another character. It's really good, especially in later fights or the final fight. as
Вот
well,
сейчас наш человек получил
where we
вдохновение и
want
научился
Formina to
протекту.
survive.
Типа
Since
допер
we
сюда, так-то
POD
можно
for
своих
someone to
прикрывать.
potentially target Formina, we are gonna make sure that she just doesn't take the brunt of it, because we really want to make sure that she is alive. If she's not alive during the final fight, it's kind of likely we lose, or at the very least won't be able to win nearly as quickly. Not guaranteed, we could still win. It's not good though. I don't
I
think so. They're
can't
both slash
really-
corrupts.
I'll just deflect,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, not a very good turn here.
Yeah, both the bat and the pig actually have slash interrupts, and because we couldn't quell them both, we just decided that
That doesn't
Yeah.
work.
rapid cutter, right? Oh, rapid cutter. Oh, no, you need the other one for that. But
Oh, Falcon Fire brings me all the way here.
yeah, Falcon Fire is really fast. So, as mentioned before, a lot of, basically every move has some kind of influence on the timeline, and some of these can move you way ahead. Falcon Fire is a little excessive because it moves you like half the timeline.
Oh, okay, I think I lose.
That might be 200%. Oh, wait, no. Actually, no.
I mean, if I get a showstopper,
That could still be fine.
this is definitely like this kind of sunken cost fallacy right here. But I'm gonna try.
Got the evade. The showstopper now. I mean, if you use quick shot, you're gonna. Oh, you don't have the evade. I guess you might have to like buckshot for block chances, or just
Yeah.
beat them.
You know, okay, let me actually just go back to this save and maybe I'm gonna.
В общем-то, релоудимся, потому что не повезло с паттерном.
This is like really like if the battle goes well, it'd be fine. And now I don't know if I might just end up pre-rolling like bad events all the time. Like that's actually already bad.
Can you have Virgil and buffers?
Huh?
Thought you have Virgil and buffers in that case. I mean, having 2 RNG events is not necessarily the best. You do want to.
I guess it could be in bathhouse.
Yeah.
Usually that's not the case. Okay, this looks much better. Okay, now
Well,
let me check Virtual's favor first.
yeah. That's the one I was talking about earlier. You have to basically collect 5 pieces of wood, and each of them has a chance of getting you the piece. I'm not sure when it's exactly. I think like when they spawn, probably. Didn't get one there. They're scattered here, so we kind of have to just roam around this map a little bit.
This is exactly why like Grelin is a big problem and why I like lose many PBs here. It's like you have to like keep randomizing the events until you get what you need, and then you also have the scenario of like okay, like this works, but you have an extra battle. So then it's like, do I take it or do I roll for the like better scenario? It's like, and then you like, okay, let me just go with this, and then it goes wrong, and you're like, oh gosh, I should have done the other thing. Like, you know, that's just how it goes here.
In this case, we got lucky that the final piece actually did have the piece after all. Otherwise, we would have to re-roll again because we only had one scenario left. But this one will give us the piece, so even if we don't have a good fight, we at the very least will just re-attempt it.
Yeah, now we're guaranteed to like just do this fight, and after that we're gonna be done with this world.
Yeah.
Okay, that should kill. Yes, good. Ooh, okay. Bull Crush. That's a really nice move to Glimmer. That's a move that moves him on the timeline 2 spaces forward. That's really good for setting up showstoppers.
It also delays the enemy, which sometimes can be useful. It's not... a lot of times delays are not really impactful or actually detrimental because you mess up your own combos, but it can be useful. The biggest part is the movement on the timeline. Just to set up
Я не знаю, чат, просчитайте количество раз, которое он сказал таймлайн. Потому что на моей памяти это уже 20-й.
Oh, never mind.
Not at all.
Well, I guess the vengeance bonus was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have like a party member from your combo dies before the combo goes off, then you get a vengeance bonus.
There are a bunch of bonuses you can have, so it's not only the attacks that give you the combo rate, but for example, as Ben just mentioned, or as you might have even seen now, if a character was meant to be in a combo, dies before the combo goes off, you get a vengeance bonus. If you defeat an enemy with a combo, you get a vanquish bonus. And if you have characters joining your combo after it was already initiated, you get a, I think just additional combo bonus is what it's called. Oh, well, that's it.
No.
Is it not? Oh, I guess.
Well, probably. Cat is getting targeted, but I think it'll be fine. No, it's not fine. But now it should be fun. Wait, actually...
Yeah, we can just set up 2 showstoppers, and, like, someone of them will get it. As long as they're not comboing, that is.
Yeah, I suppose... okay, sure. Let's do this. Yeah, these fights are, like, some of the hardest in the run as well. Because, like 4 enemies, then there's an extra rock blocking your way, and they can stun you, they can stench you, and they have interrupts, and they might be blocking. So it's like, there's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Вот он сейчас говорит о том, что
So now
у нас очень много чего может пойти не так именно в этом бое.
Left to, like, run up there.
Противник может заблокировать, мы можем промазать. Классический набор
Now we're gonna break the seal.
SaGa.
We're gonna figure out like all the curses of Final Emperor. Have like a few like this version of the scenario of Bonnie and Formina doesn't really, I guess, give some kind of conclusion because.
Oh right.
Oh yeah.
The glitch.
Yeah. So usually you're supposed to solve this puzzle, but just before ESA on a practice run, and then accidentally found a glitch where if you just mash in that specific piece.
Они сейчас говорят, что совершенно случайно нашли во время практиса на есть новый скип, потому что здесь должен быть пазл, но если мешать вот в этой сцене кнопку, то по каким-то причинам он пропускается. Он говорит, что это очень странно, потому что это больше нигде не работает, и мы не можем это повторить.
Whenever you hear that in other scenarios, you just don't get it. So the whole idea was to collect shapes to fill out this Ritgram puzzle, but that Ritgram puzzle is too hard for us, so we're just gonna not solve it, and that guy's gonna be like, oh, I hate it when people don't solve puzzles, I'm gonna do it myself. And then the story just continues.
Yeah, you got an option to like solve it yourself before coming here, or come here. If you come here, then that guy can solve it for you, and also the battle will be easier. But you get a different ending.
Yeah. We're gonna add Administrator Gold now. We're gonna make sure that he has, at the very least, Guardian program to be able to defend. There could have been a random drop to allow us giving me a move that kicks him out of the fight. My self-destructing, but we didn't get it this time, so it's not that big of a deal. And now we're fighting this. Like, I don't know why this, but it's there and it's gonna be there twice.
I was actually like doing the final bosses without the mech for some time, but I realized like, okay, just like add some safety to the front.
So this fight is, the first one is not that complicated. You see the boss already has debuffs. We didn't really talk much about buffs and debuffs, but every stat,
Он сейчас
mostly like, or namely,
говорит о том, что мы не очень
attack,
говорили о
can
боссах
be
и басах.
influenced, they can be buffed or reduced
Но
by
он говорит,
different
что
stages.
каждый стат
And
в игре
they
может
stack. So if you have like
получить
2 buffs and
баф
3
или дебаф.
debuffs, you're gonna have 1 debuff in total. This boss, or this form of the boss, starts with -3 attack, which is just nice because it means that he won't
Этот
be
босс
using
начинает
damage.
с дебафа
We're also
в
gonna be
минус
trying
3
to
атаки, что
slow the
хорошо,
enemies
потому
down
что
a little
получаем
bit
меньше
with
урона.
Sparkling Mist, an AoE move that Administrator Gold has. We're not gonna use it every single time, but every now and again, because speed, outside of just like influencing where you're gonna be in the timeline, it also apparently reduces your accuracy. It's just something that I don't know if the game actually tells you about that. I know you told me about
I
that.
think
like,
it's in the
leading up to this.
tutorials.
It might be. I didn't read that.
There's like a huge tutorial section, and it's like nobody's gonna like read and remember all of that.
And along with you are those like 4 Terracotta Warriors. They can be a little bit of a nuisance because they have 3 things they can do. They can either defend, which just means they won't be taking damage that turn, under most circumstances. They can tackle, which means they're going to be blocking everything that comes in before them. But once they've done their tackle, they're not going to be blocking anymore, so you can deal a lot of damage. They block really well. So instead of dealing 90 damage, you deal 2.
or 0.
Yeah, 0 can
A lot
also
of the
happen.
time actually there's 0.
Yeah. And then they can use Tremor as well, which
Wait, this is
doesn't-
a combo? I didn't even think about that. That really worked.
That's really nice. So a really important thing about interrupts in this fight specifically, we didn't really mention it because it wasn't relevant. Interrupts are unblockables, meaning that even if the enemy is in a guarding stance, they will not be able to actually guard that attack and they'll take the full force of it. On top of that, interrupts are strong. So we're going to be trying to use interrupts from Administrator Gold and Formina for the most part, just to try and pick them off real quick. We also have Speculation, which also means that every kill will give us an extra BP, meaning that we have a lot of BP to use now. And at this point, we're basically just trying to set up a few combos, potentially getting rid of Administrator Gold by like just having, hoping that he takes a lot of damage just to free up space on the timeline. And the fight is pretty much done whenever we get a Formina showstopper, because at this point, she's really, really strong. We have, I think we actually have 8 BP right now. Every move is 1 BP, 9 moves, really easy. Plus, this guy shows up every now and again, who's actually a little bit annoying in the second fight, but we'll get to that. He basically shows up at the end of every other turn, I believe, and shoots twice at a random target. Right now, he's doing a showstopper, though, which can be annoying. Or like he's set up for showstopper because everyone else is far away, which is a lot of times we're trying to, I guess, slow down a little bit by not doing anything with the cat. If we would be comboing with the cat, the boss would be getting a showstopper, and a showstopper on the final boss just means you lose because he has a lot of AoE moves and they're all strong and he has a decent amount of BP. They don't cost that
Он
much.
сейчас говорит о том, что если босс сделает шоу-стоппер, то нам хана
We don't see
из-за
any
того, что
showstoppers.
у него куча
I think
ОЕшки,
this turn should probably
и он просто убьет
Yeah,
нашу
should
пати.
be fine.
Поэтому
This one is going
мы всеми силами этому мешаем.
a little slowly, but it's fine.
Yeah.
We're getting through it. Oh, that's already enough. Okay.
nice.
I offer respect to your courage.
So
Yeah,
one
even
more
Fred for
fight
got in.
left. If everything goes well, maybe like about 5 minutes.
Yeah, the time.
But I might lose or
Сейчас
you
говорит,
know.
Yeah, a lot of things can
где-то
happen.
5
Timing
минут
is not
осталось,
one
но
thing.
я могу
Once you
проиграть.
kill the final boss, the way many SaGa games work is that you then like go all the way until the credits play, and that's when time happens. Same with this game. So after the final boss, there's gonna be like 10 more seconds of dialogue at most, like maybe 500. Not a lot. So in this fight, we also have multiple enemies. We have these flying Channer.
He loves
I
us
think
that.
we get it.
Let us fight. Let us fight.
That doesn't do that.
Stop scrolling through. We get it.
Эти
Okay.
крики,
You
это
still didn't let him
гениально.
finish the line. You're gonna scroll through him again. You're gonna say that again.
This is
Oh no, okay, finish it. So on the final fight, every
that's-
character has a voice line, and if you cancel a voice line by scrolling to another character, just keep repeating it, which can make
this
it
is
really funny.
it's not very good.
No.
I'm just gonna off-roll with it. But maybe the cat is gonna get the kill if I'm lucky.
So in this fight, we also have 3 enemies.
Сейчас
along
он
with the
надеется,
final
что
boss,
кот получит килл,
which means that we
чтобы
can get free
он
extra
снова
damage,
изучил
which is generally
способность.
pretty nice. What we're trying to do is we're trying to pick off these enemies. If they're using Blaster, they also guard everything that happens before them. So we're trying to either move after them or we focus on the ones that aren't using Blaster. Like for example, one of them is using Spellbind, the other one is using a, I think these guys have chains, right? Or pursuits and chains.
Yeah. I
Either
think
way-
chains.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, those guys are gonna chain, which could give them an overdrive, which could be problematic.
It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, by the way, we didn't get the tutorial for chains yet, so.
Yeah, if you don't know.
О, кстати, мы еще не получили туториал. Так что вот
In case you haven't
обучение
figured
на
it out,
финальном
it
боссе.
would usually be like a 30-hour playthrough. 174. 40% is 100%. Oh, on Formina too.
Oh, that's
Okay, that's a reset.
yeah. I think I'm gonna just
Oh,
reattempt this.
that's it. So
О, он
we have
говорит, что это
Paralyzed
ресет.
Cat, we have a
У нас
Petrified
котик в
Formina.
параличе.
We have Lancelot, who is, I guess, completely worthless, and we have a tank.
Now
Not
that
much,
looks a lot
not much
better.
gonna come out of that, yeah.
Let us fight, shoulder to shoulder, friend.
So the main differences in this fight is that you have different enemies accompanying the boss. The boss also doesn't start debuffed. He's at a normal power right away. And he also has a few extra moves that are way more timeline focused as well. Like he can, for example, attack everything that comes before him or everything that comes after him, which you'll see when it happens. Like if it says like rear, heat, wind or whatever, that means everything before him gets attacked. Or everything after him, sorry, but you can move everyone away. Like you can react to what he does for the most part. But he also has Still Blade, which is a decent amount of damage.
Oh,
plus
good
it
targeting.
buffs him. Yeah, that's really nice.
I mean, it's not a lot of damage because they were blocking,
Yeah.
but I really want to kill those first
We
before anything else.
really want Tristan to mostly focus on the channelers. He can focus on the boss, but the boss specifically, we really try to not touch too much. We like debuff him maybe a little bit with the damage down, but that's about what we do for the beginning. This boss is particularly difficult because once you get past the half HP range, which is also possible to be nice. It can also
Вот
be
это,
triggered by
конечно, у них
Tristan at
реакция.
the end of the
У.
turn. The boss, sorry, the boss will start a move called Emerald Union. That move is strong, really strong. It's like the big, flashy super attack from this boss. And the way we go about this fight is we're trying to edge him rather safely to about 50%, usually like 55, 60% health, to make sure that Tristan doesn't mess with us. And then we set up a showstopper for Formina to seal the deal. In this case, we're not quite able to kill, so we're just gonna potentially get a combo out, but this should be fine for now.
Another
Right, we
tutorial, by the way.
Yeah, right, you reset the fight, that's why.
Well, no, I didn't get a protect tutorial before.
No, you did, deflect. Lancelot limited, but then you reloaded.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was earlier.
So Guardian program is essential in this fight because we really want to make sure that Formina doesn't get stunned or killed or petrified.
Сейчас он говорит, что защита очень важна в этом бою, потому что мы не хотим получить эффекты контроля. Причины, по которой мы не хотим их получить, вы уже видели.
At least he can't get a showstopper.
I'll debuff a little more.
We really want to make sure that Tristan does not show up and just over damages him, because we don't know how long it'll take for us to get the showstopper at this point. It's not looking crazy, especially because the boss is currently set up. This is not nice. Like, I think he's gonna get over damaged. I think you just have to go in. Like, Shockwave is gonna deal enough damage that Tristan's gonna over damage.
Okay, one more flowing slash, then.
Oh, we also get a like, yeah. Oh, okay. Earth Dragon? Oh, Chest Boss.
That's a rare one.
I don't even know that move. It also get a defense down.
Okay, this is gonna kill the cat, which frees up some time from the space from the timeline.
Ah, this could be fun. Yeah, Smart Shot and Gatling Cutter, I think. Oh, do we have
No, Gatling Cutter.
Oh, wait,
is-
it's a
Oh wait,
Yeah, you should
No,
be fine. You cross slice too.
I can do it with this. Yes.
Okay, so now we're set up for Formina Showstopper. You see Lancelot is still next to Formina, but we use a
Сейчас
chain, which moves it all the
сетап
way
под
to the back. And
шоу-стоппер
that should be the
очередной,
boss fight
чтобы
now.
наши
Buckshot
Формина
chest
сделала
What
красивые
is it? Wait,
выстрелы.
this does not look very good.
Wait.
Oh no, it's gonna be fine.
Ой.
Okay.
Они
Okay,
тут
okay,
беспокоились,
that was
что
closer than I
все
thought.
идет не очень хорошо, но все нормально.
Because it uses too many BP.
Yeah, I was leaning back already, like, it's done. Got a little scared there, but you know, we got through it.
Time's coming
yeah.
up now, by the way, once we hit the credits. So
И скоро будет
I don't
время.
remember when exactly like you'd have it now.
Yeah, there's a little bit of dialogue. I'm trying to like say it like exactly.
Hands free.
Okay, it's like 3, 2, 1, time.
Все.
Nice, GG's.
Okay, yeah, that was a pretty good run all around. I had a pretty safe estimate because there's a lot of RNG. That there's a lot of things that can go wrong,
Yep.
and most of those things didn't happen. I had a little bit of like some issues here and there, but overall that was pretty good.
I mean, the only thing that really went wrong was the final boss at the end where you got petrified and like a little bit of Krellin, but outside of that, it was honestly totally fine. Barely any resets.
Yeah, pretty good. I don't think that's a PB in RTA. I mean, there is a loadless timer, so I wouldn't know either way, but it's pretty close to my PB anyway.
Really nice run.
Yeah. So thanks for having us, and I'm really glad to showcase some SaGa speedrunning. It's you know, the combat system. Hopefully, I can give like a good showcase of like how fun the combat is in this game. I highly recommend to check it out. It is a very like unconventional kind of RPG, but if you found it interesting, then I definitely recommend the game. Yeah. Anything else?
I guess like if you're interested in SaGa speedrunning, there is a Discord. It's
Yes.
not like I guess it is active in the games that are actively run at the time. Like people are definitely going to respond if you have any questions, but there's a lot of SaGa games. Even if you don't like Emerald Beyond, there's
Сейчас они
very
говорят,
likely going to be a game that has a comment system
То,
that
что
you
у
like.
Саги
Because,
очень много
again,
игр,
SaGa is a
и это
very-
правда. Сага очень древняя серия,
It tries something new every single time, and none
И
are really like the
каждый
others.
раз
There are
они
gonna be
пробуют
some
что-то новое.
similarities, but ultimately the combat systems are vastly different, and figuring all these out is pretty fun. And maybe there's one of them that you like.
Yeah. I'll be there. So like if you're interested in like speedrunning this, maybe you can come there and contact me, and I can help you like set everything up and you know all of that. But with that, I think we'll be off.